not sure how, but we are already making our next TBR for 2025. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brie and this is 4 Paws in a Book. Today we're going to be letting Kerplunk choose my TBR once again, and let me tell you, I've got big plans for February. I have some vlog projects I want to work on. I have some like behind the scenes things that are happening in a couple of months that I'm starting to work on now, and hopefully Kerplunk works with everything. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I play a game called Kerplunk. It's the, childhood marbles and sticks game. I pull the sticks. If the marbles fall, I have to take punishment. It's a whole thing. The sticks relate to prompts. I'll go over the rules in a minute when you see it. But in January, the Kerplunk Tower was very nice. I got 2 mood reads on it and did not have that many books. Of course, as of filming this, I do still have 1 more book to read. However, I'm filming it pretty early in the month. Like, I still have at least a week. What is time? I have a little over a week left of this month while I'm filming this, and so I'm not going to be taking a punishment roll. I feel like I will be able to get that last one in. It just hasn't worked with booktuber favorites yet, but it will. It will. So that being said, we're not taking a punishment. I don't have to roll an extra dice, but we do need to figure out how many books that we will be adding to the TBR for this month. All right, so I roll a d12 dice and that will tell me how many books, how many sticks that I need to pull, that whole thing. So here we go. This is my dragon d12. It's kind of hard to tell. You can't really see it that well, but I just finished Onyx Storm, so I just want to be a dragon rider right now. So that's what we're doing. Well, we're not being a dragon rider, but we're channeling that energy. That's a lot. That is an 8. I don't know if it's going to focus, but that's an 8. So we do have a lot of books to pull, or a lot of books to pick. It's fine. It's fine. We can do this. Let's talk about the 2 books that I do have to add to my TBR, and we'll talk about the plans for February, and then we'll go over to the Kerplunk Tower. All right, first let's talk about some required reads, some books that I definitely will be reading in February. So the first one is The Ballad of Songbirds and Stakes by Suzanne Collins. We're doing this as a big buddy read on my Patreon. We're doing it as a Discord buddy read, and so we have a chapter breakdown. It's been a lot of fun going through each one of them. We started with, obviously, with Hunger Games. We've worked our way through the original trilogy. I am worried about this one. I read this one when it came out and I didn't love it. I mean, it was like okay, but I didn't really want President Snow's story, but I'm hoping that, like, reading it with a bunch of other people, I will enjoy it more. I don't know. I think I gave it 3 stars the first time I read it. And then in January, I picked a book from the Water Bowl, which is where the top 2 tiers of my Patreon get to pick whatever books that I want, and then I pick one. It's a whole thing. I have 2 months to read it, and so in January, I picked The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. I picked this from Aoife. This was her pick, and I did not get to read it, so we'll be reading it in February. I think I'm actually going to be buddy reading this with Aoife. And then also on my Patreon, we are doing a cover challenge every month, and so it's like a scavenger hunt where we try to find something on the cover. So each month there is a theme, and then they get a little patch at the end of the month. And so February is hearts. That makes sense, right? It's February, it's Valentine's Day. What I didn't think was how hard it would be to find hearts on the cover on my shelves. So there's that. But I did find a couple, and I think the one that I will probably go with is going to be Wild Love by Elsie Silver. It does have the little heart, a little lock and key thing. So this is probably the book that I will be reading. I know everyone has been talking about it. This was on so many people's best books of the year, and so it was a possibility of me reading it during booktuber favorites, but it just didn't happen, so that's okay. We'll read it in February. It kind of works out. And then I have a couple of arcs that authors have sent me, and so I'm going to be trying to get to those in February. The first one is going to be The Diplomacy of the Knife by C.M. Kaplan. This is the sequel to The Fall As All There Is, which was one of my favorite books of last year, and then also one of the, probably my favorite book in the Spiffbo category when I read these. This was a finalist like last round, and I absolutely loved it. I love the characters, and I am excited to get back into this world. A little scared, but that's okay. It's gonna be fine. My battery died, of course. I haven't even started really filming yet, and my battery decided to die. This one I guess is not an arc, it's already out, but the author reached out to me, and I do think that it is a book that I'm going to enjoy, and that is Trial by Frost by Aveline Rivers. This is the first book in the Mage series, and this is a winter fantasy romance. It says it's perfect for fans of new adult epic fantasy, rich world building, world-building, slow-burn enemies to lovers, forbidden master-apprentice romance that smolders off the page, which is like a lot of buzzwords for me, so I'm excited. And this is a great transition to Romantasy-a-thon, which is hosted by Tori over at Tori Between the Pages, and I'm going to be participating in this. It starts on the 15th, and I believe it's like a week or a little over a week, something like that. And so I'm going to be participating in that. I will have a separate TBR for this because there's a lot of different prompts, and basically you're just trying to collect a bunch of things to go to the fairy ball, which is kind of cool. And I'm gonna have a lot of fun. I've read so much fantasy romance already this year, and I'm living my best life, so I'm okay with that. What's another week of fantasy romance, honestly? And I will be reading this for one of the prompts there. Very excited about this. And then the other big thing that I'm gonna be doing is Scatagorathon is coming back in February. It will start on the 23rd and go through the end of the month. And so that one will be kind of a mood read week where I will just roll for the prompts and the letters, and it's a fun thing. Those are available for the top 3 tiers of my Patreon, so if you are interested in that, all of that information is down below. We do lots of sprints. It's going to be a very, very fun time. So that being said, that's all the things that I'm going to be doing in the very short month that is February. It's fine. We're basically just trying to push seasonal depression away. All right, we've got 8 sticks to pull. Let's go over to the Kerplunk Tower. All right, so here is the Kerplunk Tower. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you don't know the rules of this, that's okay. I'll explain them very quickly. Basically, the green sticks, if I pull one of those, it needs to be a book from an author that I have read from before, and then I'll get a green card, and then I'll pick a book that fits that prompt. If it's orange, then it's a new author. Same thing. And then if a marble falls, then I have to pick a black card. Let's hope that doesn't happen, but honestly, I don't have much faith in this tower as I was putting it together today, so that's great. Let's start with the green one that's kind of like sticking out here. Did you see those already move? We're not gonna, this isn't gonna end well. All right, here we go. And we have a viewer recommendation. Book number 1 was viewer recommend from an author that I have read from before. So I took my video of my unread TBR and I went in and randomized the comments. It was a little bit hard because the ones that I kept coming up were ones from authors that I had not read from before. So I had to shuffle through it a couple of times. But the first one that it landed on from an author that I had read from before was going to be Love Theoretically by Allie Hazelwood. And this is one of the few Allie books that I have not read from before. And I do have high hopes for this one. This is one of her feminist novels. I enjoyed Love on the Brain and Not in Love, but I did not like The Love Hypothesis, which is like, you know, probably an orange flag. It's not quite a red flag, but it's a beige flag, an orange flag, I don't know. Rival physicists collide in a vortex of academic feuds and fake dating shenanigans in this delightfully feminist rom-com. Sounds like it should be fun. Here's the thing, it's Valentine's. This will be a fun way to maybe read it that week, or maybe for Scatagorathon. It'll be a good palate cleanser with all the romantasy that I am reading lately. All right, pick number 2. We'll go ahead and do an orange one. I just have no faith in this tower today. Ooh, a cover by. The next prompt was a cover by from a new to me author. This is probably one of the most beautiful covers I own, so we're going with that one. And that is Heavenly Bodies. This is the Fairy Loot Romantasy book from January, I believe, maybe December. Honestly, I can't remember. But like, she's so pretty. And it's a very different cover from the original one, which is like this dark blue, but it still has that same celestial vibe that is in the book. And yeah, it's got these really pretty sprayed edges. Like, it fits, okay? In a world ruled by the stars, cruel and merciless gods, Alara has been cursed by fate. A prophecy promises she will fall for a star, but it will kill them both. Sounds exciting. So anyways, very excited about this one. All right, pick number 3. There we go. Ooh, a fantasy. Then I got fantasy from an author that I have read from before. I'm gonna work smart and not hard, and I'm gonna put A Diplomacy of the Knife. Is that what the title is called? By C.M. Kaplan. Like I said, I already talked about this one. It is about 4 quadruplets that are all fighting for the throne, fighting for the, like, to become the heir, because they were all quadruplets. There is no apparent heir, and so this is just going to continue the series. The main character is autistic, and I really resonated with a lot of the stuff in that book. So it's a very quotable book for me. So I'm very excited to read it. It comes out at the end of February, I believe. I'll put the published date down here. I can't remember exactly, but it's sometime in February. But I have an arc of it, so I will be reading it very soon. Pick number 4. Okay. Ooh. Friend recommendation. All right. Next up, I got friend recommend from a new to me author, which means I have no power, and it means I have to read this book, which is great. I texted Mel from Melanor Reads, and she's like, yeah, I'll send you a clip. So I, actually, as I'm filming it, have no idea what book it is, so roll the clip.
Okay, so because I cannot pick just one book, I did look at your Goodreads to verify that you have not read either of these authors. So I'm gonna give you 2 choices. Both of them are romantasy because I am living in my romantasy era, and I'm hoping that you will also love these and be living in yours. The first is Flame and Sparrow by S.M. Gaither. I don't think you've read anything by her before, and this is just a duology that is really fun with great banter and a unique storyline. It's about Karis, and she, I think, is an elf, and they are basically shunned away, and she ends up being taken by basically a demigod, the fire god Draven, into his world, and there's some trials, and you do have to get through about the first 30 to 40% of this book. I will be full disclaimer, but once you get to the romance, so much fun and so good. And then the other option that I have for you is a republished release, and the second book is coming out this year, I believe, and that is Heavenly Bodies by Amani Aru. This one is star-crossed lovers with amazing banter as well. I did read the indie version and really enjoyed it. These are your 2 choices. Let me know what you pick, and I really hope that you enjoy it.
Thank you, Mel. I really hope I like it. She's gonna do great. She's gonna do great. She knows my taste pretty well, and she's not gonna steer me wrong. Number 5. I feel like I've had like better luck with the orange ones, the marbles not falling, but maybe we try that again. See, I don't know, maybe the orange ones are in there better. Okay, challenge TBR. Then I got a book from a challenge TBR from a new to me author, and so that's any of my like 25 and 25 or my Kindle Unlimited challenge, whatever, you know, the bingo boards that come out at the beginning of the year. Could also have been a series, but obviously that can't be from a new to me author because those are all series I want to continue. I picked Currency in Flesh by Heather Nix. This is an author that I met at a Polycon. I own 2 of her books, but I have not read them yet. And this is a queer sapphic Hades and Persephone retelling. Dark romance inspired by the myth of Hades and Persephone and the fall of the House of Usher. And I think I've actually put this one on a couple of different TBRs, but it will fit on both the Kindle Unlimited challenge from Kitty as well as my 25 and 25. All right, pick number 6. There's like a big chunk of green right around here. All right, that one was safe. Here we go. Ooh, a self-published book. Then we got a self-published book from an author that I have read from before, and I'm gonna be smart. I'm gonna continue a series that I just recently read and really enjoyed, really loved, came out of nowhere, and so I'm gonna read the second book, and that is Queen of the Blood Throne. This is a dark fantasy romance. It's kind of like if Scythe was a romantasy, but then make it a little bit grimdark. Anyways, I really loved the first book. It made my best books of the year. It really snuck in at the last minute, and so I may have purchased the rest of the series. And so now that it is on my 2025 TBR, I need to read 50% of those. It's a goal. See, we're working on things. And so yes, this is going to be the second book in that series, another romantasy to add to my romantasy-a-thon at TBR. Okay, number 7. Oh, I'm worried. Ooh, a standalone. Then we got a standalone by a new to me author. Sometimes when you have such a wide range of books, it's really hard to pick a book. And so I actually kind of went back to my viewer recommend, and this is a book that popped up as one of the first comments, and I was like, oh, that's exciting. Oh wait, no, I haven't read from that author before, so this one kind of worked. And that is Confessions by Kane Minato. This is a thriller. It's very psychological. It says her pupils murdered her daughter, and now she will have her revenge. So I think it takes place from like a bunch of different perspectives, and then it all kind of ties in at the end. I've heard really good things about it, and it's kind of twisty, and so I feel like it's going to be a really fun, quick read, and I haven't read a thriller yet this year, so that'll be exciting. All right, so what will hopefully be the last one? I don't know. I don't trust it. Whew, okay, good. And pick a card. A big book. Our last prompt, thank you, Kerplunk. On the shortest month of the year, we have a lot of books, and this one is a big book from an author that I have read from before. And I actually have been trying to put this book onto a TBR, and so it's perfect. Heat of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This actually comes out traditionally, I think in March, if I remember correctly, but I do have the indie copy of it, and she a chonker. She's very big, and I'm actually going to be meeting Penn Cole, and so I want to be able to finish the series. I want to be able to catch up, and then that way we're actually going to be sitting in on a panel with her, and so, you know, as she talks about her series, we'll be able to, I'll know what's going on. Okay, this is a lot of books. This is a very, very big TBR, and this does not include the Diplomacy of the Knife, and it doesn't include the book that Mel's going to give me. So, wish me luck. It's fine, it's fine. I always read a lot in February, so this will be great. Let me know a book that you are excited to read in the month of February. Let me know if you have read any of these books and which ones I should prioritize, even though I have to read them all. I do have a ton of plans, like I said, for this month, so stay tuned. And if you are interested in our Patreon buddy read, our cover challenge, or Scatagorathon, all of the information for my Patreon is linked down below. If you are interested in some of my challenge TBRs, if that sparked your interest, I am going to leave my 25 in 25 TBR right here, as well as my Kindle Unlimited TBR right here. And if you are new here and you have not yet subscribed, there is a little button that you can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Instagram, Goodreads, Twitter, and my Patreon are linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!